And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of This Is Live. Kat, you asked a question. You asked what you could do, and it was really, I mean, you're way down there in Texas, baby girl. I really don't see that you can do much. Spread the link for,
The fundraiser.
for the fundraiser, because look, we're gonna need gas.
Any of it.
Yeah, we're gonna need gas to get to Lebanon, to and from Lebanon, medicine, and to be honest with you, we don't know everything. Yeah, I mean, I can just imagine this is. It's already trying, but one thing that I wish. I mean, we need somebody to help us clean this house. And then,
I wish you were closer.
yeah, and then when we move stuff into storage, we're going to need somebody to help us do that, because it's going to
Kill us.
either just be me or me and the landlord. My wife can't.
Be a bitch about that.
Yeah, because my wife can't do anything like that right now.
If he bitches, I might hit him.
You know, so we need. I mean, if you were here, maybe you could help us do some work in here. But, you know, I mean, you have to take into account what my wife is what we're going through. But physically, yeah, this is frustrating. Physically, my wife is far more limited right now than I am. She's not supposed to be doing a whole lot. It's like when I went to hospital because of my back, the doctor said nothing over 5 pounds. And don't do this and don't do that and da-da-da-da-da-da.
I think that's about what I'm at, though.
Yeah, I mean, she's not supposed to be doing anything. I mean, nothing heavy. I mean, she can get up and walk, but...
They told me basically take the weekend off.
So... what would be really helpful for us right now is somebody to help us clean the apartment and...
No, we're not being lazy.
Yeah, we're not being lazy. I mean, if you only knew how much we've done.
Very hard.
Yeah, before all this started, we had done a lot. I mean, we got rid of the sofa, and we have these two.
And you try moving a sofa, just me and Daddy.
So... another thing is, look, to be honest with you right now, this is not a good time for you to come up here.
We don't want you up here, but...
we hope you understand that. I mean, everything is really day to day and chaotic, yeah, and to be honest with you, before you even come up here, there are certain things we want to have for you. And we want to get you some Bambinos. And, you know, I mean, you know, some stuff like that.
We don't even know if what we're going to be able to do.
Yeah, you know, and...
for ourselves, let alone for you. It's not that we...
yeah.
trying to be self-centered or anything, but...
I mean, I would, you know, if we were in a position to do it, we would send you a case of them. I mean, ABU or Bambinos or both, but, I mean, we were able to reopen our bank account.
Barely.
Yeah, barely. We almost didn't. I mean, we went to, what was the credit union first, and they wouldn't open one for us.
Well, I think they're too damn nosy.
Yeah. They wanted to see if we were on a watch list. I'm surprised my name didn't come up, to be honest with you. But, I mean, to be honest, seriously, I'm surprised my name didn't come up.
And who we owed money...
yeah, who we owed money to, and that surprised me that...
that was... I just about said, just forget it. I don't even want to go any damn farther. That's none of your frickin' business.
Yeah, so...
right then there, that almost blew it.
So we went to the bank that I'm surprised we were able to reopen the account.
Well, I think they're pretty forgiving.
Yeah, they're a Canadian bank, by the way.
Toronto Dominion.
Well,
TD.
Yeah, TD.
I don't know if they're countrywide, nationwide. I don't think they are.
I think they're just like in this area right now.
Well, I think just the East Coast, maybe.
East Coast. But we have to like use their ATMs.
Well,
which is okay. I mean, you know.
Or Walgreens or Walmart.
Yeah, like
when we
cash
buy
back.
something.
Yeah. The one thing at this moment, I mean, there are things we're going to be needing, but we need help cleaning the house.
Yeah.
Cleaning, organizing, and like I said, we've done a lot. But now there's this, you know, medical issues again.
Just don't say I'm lazy, or I will blow up on you.
Yeah. I'm limited. I mean, I can do some things,
but
I'm still limited. And
we're not spring chickens.
Yeah, and
neither one of us.
I have lower back problems. I have tardive dyskinesia. You don't want to see me fall on my face, which I've done. I was walking lucky when I lived in that horrible apartment complex in San Antonio. And don't get me wrong, I mean, there are some good apartment complexes in San Antonio. That one is not one of them.
That was one of the scary ones.
Yeah. I mean, when I'd lived there twice, and to be honest with you, I mean, you know, to be fair, I kind of had an idea
how bad it was, but
yeah, but I desperately needed an apartment. I knew it was easy to get in there, you know, and when I first, the first time, early on, the second time I lived there, this lady, this girl, I mean, I think she's about your age. I say girl, no disrespect when I say girl. It's just you're a lot younger than we are. I mean, you are technically young enough to be our child, which is kind of neat, you know, but her husband was okay, but there was this girl, I don't know if this other girl was a lesbian or not, I could care less. But, you know, she had it in her head that this girl was a lesbian and that she was looking at her, so she took a knife to her.
Who was that?
When I lived at
somebody you knew.
Well, I mean, they were neighbors.
Oh.
I wouldn't say I really knew them. I knew who they were. Yeah, and I talked to her husband one day. Once. You know. Well, once, and then later on after it happened, I saw him and their kid, the kid in the stroller, walking down the street, and I talked to him, and he was like, "Hey, where'd you go?" You know. And he wasn't on the lease, but his wife/girlfriend was. She wasn't taking her medicine.
Cuckoo bat.
Yeah, and she had it in her head that this girl was a lesbian and that she was, you know, giving her the look, giving her the eye or something. So she stabbed her. She didn't kill her, thankfully, but she stabbed her. And, you know, the police and the ambulance. And because this guy wasn't on the lease, he wasn't allowed to stay there, so he had to move out. He got a 30-day notice. There, while I was living there, I heard gunshots more than once. The police were there almost every day, if not multiple times a day.
They practically lived there, huh?
Yeah. And
that's pretty scary.
Drugs and drunks and...
Oh, they never do anything like that.
Mm-hmm. And...
beat each other up in the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and they, you know, look, I believe when I went there, because, I mean, one reason I went there because I knew it was quick and easy to get into. Okay, there wasn't going to be a hassle. And not that that was the only place that I went to, but it was...
And you needed a home.
Yeah, I desperately needed a place to live, because my mother, with the Alzheimer's, she was... Batty, yeah, she was mean growing up, but she was mean now. I mean, and, she had kicked me out of the house. I lived on the streets for a couple of nights or more. So I don't know how you do things. I don't know what you need. But I did not con my way into the hospital. Yeah, I tell you, I was stressed. I was stressed because of the fire had just happened, maybe two or 3 weeks before that. My mother was sick. I didn't know what was wrong with her, but I knew something was wrong with her. And she kicks me out. You know, I mean, all I had was the clothes on my back. That was all I had at that point. Literally, all I had were the clothes on my back.
It's sad.
Yeah. And so I was, you know, I was extremely stressed. And I tried to sleep in this field across from Methodist Transplant and Specialty Hospital. It's in the medical center.
Oh, that was fun.
Well, what happens? It doesn't rain all summer.
Oh.
And then, you know, the first night it rains. The second night it rains. I'm like, what am I doing? You know, and yeah, I mean, I had this image of homeless people. Because I had volunteered at the SAM shelter. When I was in college, I volunteered at the SAM shelter. And I went on something they call Urban Plunge. I don't know what your life has been like, but
It's kind of scary, isn't it?
Yeah, I hope you never have to go see that kind of stuff. And when I was going to this one program, they were renting space from a church, and that church also had a program for the homeless. And there was this one guy, he was a really nice guy, and was it Thanksgiving or Christmas? I think it was Thanksgiving. And he said, oh, no, I said, you know, can I bring you a plate? You know, I'll bring you a plate, don't worry. He said, no, you don't need to bring me a plate. Well, I'd cook him one anyway. And he's like, oh, you didn't have to do that. But yeah, I'm sure he was hungry, yeah. You know, and we weren't supposed to do that, but I did it. I mean, you know, and he was telling me, because I went down there, he was in a sleeping bag. His feet were where his head was supposed to be. And he explained to me why he did that. Because people will come up to you. And they know your head is supposed to be up here. So they'll start kicking and punching you. And
being a-holes, basically.
yeah, the one reason I felt really sorry for him, because what happened is his lower legs and feet were all beat up. And that's because somebody went up to him and started kicking and punching where they thought his head was. But it was his feet.
No, I guess it's better than
yeah. So
head.
You know, and I'm like, you know, when you're living on the street like that, man, you know, you don't get medical care. You're going to get an infection. Yeah, and it's like, I just felt bad for him. I figured, you know, a little nutrition would be good for him. To have a semi-full belly would also be a good thing for him. There was another guy, he was hired by the program that I was involved with to be the cook for a while, but he got fired from that, and then he was working for the church, not exactly as a cook, but, you know, because what they did was they gave the homeless, and they had what they called the day program, basically a bologna sandwich and maybe a bag of chips or something. And,
oh, good lunch.
Yeah. And they could come in the mornings and have all the coffee they wanted.
Okay.
And, you know, this guy is like in his 50s. And he's been homeless since he was a teenager. And that's the only life he knows. And he was staying at, what's that place called? It was a German name. It's the bunkhouse. Well, but they had the way it was on the sign. It was in German, but then later on they changed it to a more English sounding. But the bunkhaus or something like that. But the bunkhouse. It was like a dorm. You at the time you paid like $5 a night to stay there, and you got a cot, and you could have the same cot each night if you kept coming back. Yeah, I mean,
fun.
I think they may have gotten like a cot and a locker or something.
Well,
but at the SAM shelter, because, you know, like I said, we volunteered there. When I was in college, I volunteered over there, and I was different. you know, in those days. I mean, geez, that was over on the west side. Shit, I walked down the street in the middle of the night to go down to the store to get all of us that were volunteering some stuff to eat.
Without getting beat up?
Yeah, without getting beat up. Now, I wouldn't do that today, but I did it then.
No, without a gun.
Yeah. I was younger, you know, I took risks.
You have to protect yourself.
Yeah, I took risks that maybe I shouldn't have taken. But I made it, you know, I survived. But anyway, what I was saying, you know, I saw what these homeless people went through, so I'm out there trying to sleep in this field, and I don't know if I was imagining it or if it was really there. Basically, way across the field, in my mind, I'm seeing this campfire and these people sitting around the fire, and to me, they're talking about me. You know, like they're going to come over, they're going to wait till I go to sleep, they're going to come over and take all my stuff, like I had anything. I had like a sleeping bag, you know, and
and some grass.
Yeah.
To sleep on.
And so ever since then, I've always made sure I have certain things just in case there's an emergency. Thankfully, what we have would work for us, you know, both of us, not just one person. But you know, so I knew in my mind, I mean, you know, I knew what homeless people went through. And I'm out there trying to sleep in this field, you know, and I guess I was just freaking out, like, you know, I went through enough violence growing up. I didn't need to be going through this anymore. I was sick and tired of it.
Any more trouble.
Yeah, you know, I've just... Plus, I was worried about the San Antonio cops, you know, because they harass the homeless. And,
They do.
You know, and I'm like...
Probably driving them nuts.
That's why I like Cop Block. We don't have like a big homeless population up here, and it's a very different type of population. They actually have...
Well, one guy said there's over 300 people.
Oh, that's true. So,
and I mean, this was the guy in the Social Security office, the security guard. But wow.
Yeah. And there's a camp where people live. We haven't seen it though, but yeah, so.
Well, a little bit, but.
But anyway, so you know, I'm just going on and on.
But you need to talk, honey.
So the one thing we need is help cleaning, and organizing and sorting, and because we actually have stuff to give to Shire Sharing. I mean, it's not food. But, you know, if somebody is burned out, if they were homeless and they're just getting back on their feet, if they just moved up here and they don't have anything, because a lot of movers, that's what they're for. Yeah, they have nothing. We barely had anything. We packed the car. If you saw the car.
You would have screamed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we could bring a whole lot up here.
There's barely room for us in it.
Yeah. So,
I remember you with that great big old thing on your feet.
Yeah, that bag. Yeah, I don't even know where that bag is anymore.
And it was like the size of a small bookcase on your feet. I'm surprised you could even move.
Yeah. So, the only reason I even had stuff in that apartment in San Antonio was after I moved in there, somebody finally did something about my mom. And, I went over to her house to check up on her. Lucky was there. He was skinny, he had no hair. There was no electricity, no running water. The place was
bad.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
If you ever seen like the hoarder shows, you know, nasty. And when I was going to Solera, I was sitting in the room and talking, and that program helped me. I just wish my wife had something like that. I mean, it was great.
There's almost nothing up here for.
Yeah, but you know, like I told him, I mean, you know, the place was trash. She just collected stuff that meant nothing. In her mind, in the Alzheimer's mind, I guess it meant something at the point she picked it up. She picked up a bike frame. No wheels, no handlebars, no nothing. Oh, well, I asked her why she had it. She said, oh, well, we may need that for something.
For what?
Yeah. So, once I was going to go over and get some gorditas. And there's a taco stand, a taco truck, you know. And I was going to go over there and get some gorditas. And this was like 9 o'clock at night. No, don't you dare go out. I mean, I'm like, what? I can't go out?
She was slipping.
Yeah, I'm like, she was paranoid. Sometimes she was really paranoid. So anyway, at that point, you know, I went and talked to one of the neighbors. She said, well, she was laying down in the yard yelling, and I called the ambulance, and they took her to hospital. So on my way back on the way back to my apartment, I saw this motorcycle cop, and I said, well, do you know where they take people? And I said, well, the most likely place would be University Hospital. So I called over there, and sure enough, that's where they had her. And they had to have somebody with her 24/7. They had to have like a tech or aide or something.
In the room with her?
In the room with her.
Oh, shit.
And you know, they kept her for a long time, actually. I mean, long time. And then they sent her to one nursing home. And boy, oh boy, if I could get my hands on those people, because they punched her. She had,
that's wrong.
Yeah, bruised face, bruised eye, and somewhere on her torso was bruised. And we went in there to see her when my uncle and cousins came down. And she said, she like picked up her shirt and said, I don't know where that came from. And she really didn't. She didn't remember it. It just happened like the night before, and she didn't remember it. You know, and I was pissed. What could I do? I reported it. You know, people say, oh, you know, for those of you fake atheists out there that love the state, I reported that assault. Guess what? Nothing was done. You love the state so much, I see how well the state's doing in taking care of the elderly and the people with dementia.
They didn't care if they lived or died.
No.
Probably.
The police, the sheriff's department, that is, because the sheriff's department was in charge of that type of report, and the state of Texas did absolutely nothing. They sent me a letter saying we're not going to do anything. And we had pictures. But
pathetic.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, what we need is help cleaning and organizing, sorting. Quickly, yeah. I can do some of this, but it's just going to be me, and you know, I have my own physical issues, my own health issues. I mean, I can do more than my wife can, but anyway, so that's all I have to say. I don't know, okay, bye-bye.